無能全力攻撃だ
無双の風シミュレート
わめくがいい逃がさぬ無能逃がさぬここだ行くぞくだらないわめくがいいここだ逃がさぬ知れ知れ無能逃がさぬ知れはっ
Yo, what's poppin' guys? Kaizeki here with another Genshin Impact video, and today I'm going to be talking about our boy Xiao. And now, here's the thing. I've seen some people saying that Xiao is not an S tier character. They've been saying he's just A tier, even some people trying to call him a B tier character. Now look, he does have his drawbacks, right? He's a balanced character, don't get me wrong. He has energy issues, right, which I've talked about in its guide. He has energy issues, and but the thing is, his issues could pretty much all be mitigated, right? All his problems you could solve with characters like Sucrose as a support for him. That solves his energy issues for the most part, right? And another thing people say is that he is not great in single target. Well, here's the thing. As you can see by those clips, he can absolutely destroy single target bosses, right? And if that's his weakness, let me tell you, in AoE situations, Xiao is a monster. An absolute monster, okay? So you see here, I'm fighting these groups of enemies. Xiao just smacks them. He just smacks them. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. He could also do some just insane damage as well. Now, that's another thing. He is kind of squishy, right? He is squishy. But as long as you're good at dodging stuff, squishiness doesn't matter too much, right? As long as you know how to actually like dodge stuff, the better you are at the game, the stronger Xiao is essentially. He's not Unga Bunga like Diluc. Diluc, you could just run in, charge at anything, smack him in the face, and you're gonna be just fine because he's Diluc, right? Xiao, you actually need a little bit of skill to play him. Now, he's not too hard, right? As long as you could dodge, if you have some food on you to heal, whatever, right? Whatever you gotta do, it's not too bad, right? Another thing is, of course, is combo. As long as you're properly comboing, so you do your jet combo, which I have a whole video on as well. If you do your jet combo, that immensely improves his single target performance. Immensely improves it. So pretty much all his problems, like I said, can be mitigated as long as you're, A, know how to play the game, B, come prepared, like, with strategies like, jet combo, different stuff like that. As long as you know how to play the character, he can absolutely compete with Vaporized Diluc. No questions asked. Now look, Ganyu, of course, is still stronger, okay? Freeze Ganyu is stronger until you get Xiao to C6. And when you get Xiao to C6, he outperforms Ganyu by a couple of %. But that's a lot of money, and honestly not... I mean, unless you're well. If you're well, then C6 is worth it. If you're not a well, don't go for C6. Obviously, you can't, don't make yourself go broke. Don't ruin your life, your financial situation. Absolutely don't do that. C6 is very, very, very good. It makes him probably the best character, if not one of the best characters in the entire game for DPS, right? But again, you don't need C6 to do some crazy damage. You don't need C6 or even a 5-star weapon to compete with Diluc. Now, of course, he's going to be better. If you could get, if you have a, if you have Pyramidal Jade Spear, then yeah, he's better, okay? He is better with his Jade Spear, but it's not necessary. It is absolutely not necessary to have a Jade Spear in order to play this character. I'm running Deathmatch on him, and I could still do some crazy stuff. Some absolutely crazy stuff. So yeah, you really don't have to... You really don't need to spend a bunch of money, basically. If you have a deathmatch, even if you're free to play and you go Blackcliff, you could still output some crazy numbers. So you don't even have to spend a dime. If you're free to play and got Xiao C0, you get a Blackcliff. Honestly, C1 doesn't increase his DPS by a whole lot. It makes him a lot smoother to play, a lot easier to play. It helps his energy issues. But your actual DPS output is very, very close at C0 and C1. So Xiao still does need some investment, right? Now, this is end-game investment, however. in game, you're going to want to get his artifacts maxed out to level 20 if possible. And you're also, this is one of the characters where you're going to want a level 90 weapon on him, and of course get the character itself to level 90. Now why is this? Well, he is a hyper carry. And what this means is that you're going to be spending, again, most of the time on the field with him, okay? Which means he's going to be the one doing most of the damage. The more you invest into him means that it's going to have more of a direct correlation to overall damage on the field. If you're using someone like Diluc, for example, a lot of the damage also comes from someone like Xiao, which means while you want to invest a lot into Diluc, you also want to invest a decent amount into Xiao, because if you invest overly into Diluc, you're going to have diminishing returns versus investing a lot into Diluc and a bit into Xiao, if that makes any sense, right? Versus Xiao, the damage is pretty much all coming from him, like 90% of it, and then you could also have some damage from a Fischl, from a Xiao as well, but not as much as with Diluc with the Vaporize, right? So, again, most of the damage is dependent on Xiao as a character, which means you're going to want to invest heavily into him. Out of game, your real life money, your hard-earned money, you don't have to put that much into him. You could run him C0 with a free-to-play weapon like Blackcliff, as I said, and he will do just fine. You could do very close to being a C1. The damage is very similar, but you just might want to have a little bit more energy recharge on him than if you have him at C1. If you have him at C1, you could get away with less energy recharge, especially via Sucrose like me. I have no energy recharge on Xiao, and he works just fine. So it's all up to your artifact rolls and how much you want to invest into it as a character. He can do absolutely phenomenally. Not being at C6 is what I'm trying to say, right? You don't have to get him C6 for him to be good, by no means. When you get him to C6, he becomes godly and breaks the game. But if you don't have him at C6, he is still an S tier character, absolutely an S tier character. So if you got him, be happy, rejoice. You have the best boy Yaksha, right? The absolute Chad, or the stunning gent, right? We have before our eyes. It's definitely be happy, right? Again, single target he could do amazingly in. AoE he does even better if you're fighting a bunch of enemies. It's crazy. He just goes back and forth. It's insane, right? If you use his E, uses his ult, when you're plunging, it's gonna hit a bunch of enemies at once. It's insane. Xiao is absolutely insane. Okay, again, he does need more investment though, and you have to be particular about your teams. But once you do, it's all worth it. Okay, it is all worth it.
くだらない無駄だわめくがいいここだ
Crazy. He's crazy against mobs. He just obliterates them. He's no joke. Xiao is no joke. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to talk to you guys about Xiao, fanboy a little bit for the Vigilant Yaksha, because again, he's my favorite character in the game, and I've seen some people not doing our boy justice, and I just want to kind of offset that by doing our boy justice, because he's amazing. He's beautiful and charming and just the best thing in the world, right? He's the best thing in the world, okay? So yeah, guys, that's it for today. Guys, out. Peace and booyah.